Hey, it's Dave here, and welcome to this video where we're going to compare and contrast, look at the benefits and drawbacks of medical testing for digestive problems versus what we call functional testing for digestive problems. And so in the previous videos in this series, we talked about the different methods used for testing digestive function in the medical world. And we talked about colonoscopies and gastroscopies, scans like MRIs and CT scans and X-rays, and we talked about ultrasounds and things like that as well. And what we said was that those tests are fantastic. They tend to find dysfunction or problems in the digestive system at a certain level of dysfunction. It's kind of like there's already something quite major going on if those scans and oscopies and ultrasounds and things actually find problems. So what kind of things do they find? Well, they find inflamed tissue like gastritis or colitis. They may find things like cysts and ulcers, evidence of inflammatory bowel disorders like diverticulitis and Crohn's disease. They find blockages and stones in places like the gallbladder and in the ducts that join the liver, the gallbladder, the pancreas and the intestine. They might find strictures in the intestines, twists and structural problems in the tissues. They might find a hiatal hernia, and they might find enlarged organs and possibly even tumors, cancer as well. So they're very, very valuable. But the question we would always want to ask, and by the way, some of these things might need to be treated medically as well. You might not be able to change your diet and take supplements or see a visceral osteopath or something for some of these. They may need proper medical treatment once they've actually developed and become fully blown problems. But the question is, why did some of these things develop in the first place? Why is there inflamed tissue? Why are there ulcers? Why are there cysts? Why might inflammatory bowel disorders have developed? Why is there a hernia? Why have these blockages and stones developed, and so on and so forth? And to answer those questions, we can then look at functional testing. And functional testing delves a few layers deeper into what might have created some of these problems. And so food sensitivities can create inflammation, for example, in the digestive system. A whole range of different bad bugs like parasites, unfriendly bacteria, yeast and fungal overgrowth, mold overgrowth and things, they can all overgrow in the system and create major problems that lead to some of these conditions. A lack of friendly bacteria that help support your immune system, keep inflammation levels down, help you digest your food, all of those things. Low levels or even excessive levels of the digestive juices, so things like stomach acid, pancreatic juices, bile, which is supposed to be squirted out in large amounts from the gallbladder when you eat a meal. And so all of these things can cause problems. Now, what about your immune system? Is your immune system depleted in the digestive system? Has a depleted immune system allowed a ton of bad bugs to get into your body, and those bad bugs have then created a bunch of inflammation or triggered inflammatory bowel disorder or something like ulcers, like with H. pylori, for example? And then you can dig even deeper and say, well, if you have food sensitivities and you have bad bugs and you have low levels of digestive juices and friendly microbes and things, and maybe a really imbalanced immune system in your digestive system, why has all that happened? Well, that could be because you have lifestyle factors that need to be addressed, alcohol consumption, dietary factors, and in particular stress. Stress can contribute to all of this stuff. And you may have a slightly underactive thyroid. You may have imbalances in your adrenal hormones or your sex hormones that are contributing to your digestive problems as well. So we have to take all of these things into consideration and keep digging until we find the true root cause. And so the difference between the medical tests and the tests that we use isn't that one set of tests is better than the other. It's actually that they both may be needed to assess you at the level of dysfunction that needs to be treated. And if there's a true medical issue, it needs to be treated, usually medically. If it's just a functional issue, if it's irritable bowel syndrome or functional heartburn or functional bloating or whatever, then it's usually something on this side that needs to be tested and treated. And oftentimes these tests will just draw a blank. And you'll be sent home basically being told, well, we believe you that there's something wrong, but we can't find the cause. so here's a few drugs to manage the symptoms and you probably got to live with it for the rest of your life. The argument that I would give with that is if you do some of these tests, you're pretty much certain to figure out what's actually going on so that you can fix it. So I hope that's helpful. I hope it really clarifies and distinguishes the differences in the levels of testing between the medical system and sort of the naturopathic functional medicine system. And of course, if you would like to chat about your individual health circumstances and you'd like to explore the idea of doing some of these testing methods yourself, then please don't hesitate to leave a comment or contact us via private message or by email. And I will see you soon. I hope you've enjoyed the video series, and I'll catch you later. Thank you.